You're just making it up to protect your officers, and it's shameful. You should be. You're shameful.
Officers have a habit of abusing their authority as they try to intimidate everyday citizens. But today we're diving into moments where brave auditors stood their ground and turned the tables on these power-hungry tyrants.
In 2021, LAPD officer Jose Rivera, while off duty, would drive around late at night harassing an individual verbally, William Good. The man being harassed then filed a complaint against the officer, whose identity he wasn't even aware of at the time. The man then went to the Hollywood station, where he tried to identify the officer who was messing with him. But over there, he ran into a couple of other cops who were no better than Jose.
I can't give you that information.
Why can't you?
I can't.
Why? I mean, you tell me why. You have to tell me a reason. Is there a specific code?
Because I can't.
I mean, but tell me why. I mean, that's something that can be arbitrary. It means something because you just don't feel like doing it.
No, but
Okay, so tell me why. You say you can't. Why? Is there something written that says you can't?
okay, so this way I can't give it to you.
Is there something written down that says you can't?
These are definitions of
I want you to write it down and tell me exactly the reason why you can't. I mean, you have to give me an explanation. You can't just say, I can't. Well, why?
I'm giving you guidance here.
But the guidance isn't helping. You told me about OIG, you don't even know what the function is of OIG. I mean, seriously. You're a sergeant, you don't even understand the function.
He was just protecting his officer without any justifiable reason. He doesn't even care for the citizen and his well-being.
So, I mean, this is basic stuff. So you tell me to OIG, now you're saying you can't. Why? Why can't you?
I'm telling you.
I know you're telling me, I'm asking you, why can't you? You can say you can't. I mean, listen, you're a sergeant. You can't. Why? Martinez, why?
Because I can't.
Why? Who said you can't?
Because it's confidential, sir. These investigations are
I didn't ask for a confidential. A person harassed me on the street, a private individual, again, a private citizen, not in uniform, private citizen.
So he was a private citizen.
Did it against me, a private citizen.
Correct.
And you people, the LAPD, became aware. If this was any other situation, if this person was not an LAPD officer, if this was a person that lived across the street, you'd give that information to the complainant.
The supervisor had no real answers, and he just seemed hell-bent on making an embarrassment out of himself.
Who wants to file both a crime report and also get a restraining order? I want to file a restraining order. You're trying to tell me I'm not allowed to get that information. I have an officer that is repeatedly going out here harassing me, and I have on tape, and your own department says, yeah, he did it. And I'm not allowed to know who he is so I can get a restraining order against said off-duty officer? And if so, why? I mean, you gotta give me something. This is gonna play out really well. This is gonna look really nice, so tell me why.
It'll look nice, sir.
Tell me why. I mean, I'm
not going to argue with you. We're going in circles here.
You're just not answering. Why?
I did answer you because I can't. That's my final
I have an
answer.
off-duty officer who's out here harassing. Michael Moore says he's deeply embarrassed by this officer, but I can't know the officer's name. I can walk out here right now, this guy's gonna keep on harassing me. I have him on tape, and you say I can't tell you who he is. This is the LAPD for you. You proud of this, Martinez? You proud of this for him? You proud of this? You proud of this? I mean, the way you protect these officers and the way you sit there and say it's confidential and it's not. You're just making it up to protect your officers, and it's shameful. You should be. You're shameful.
I'm not arguing.
You don't argue. There isn't an argument. It's shameful.
Is there anything else I can answer?
I think we're going to have to make sure your family is ashamed.
William Good, the victim, then contacted the department chief to try to get him to reveal the evil officer's identity. Still, he refused to speak as expected and just referred to him to the Internal Affairs Captain, Captain Shaw, who also wasn't willing to speak about the matter. Months later, William spotted a truck resembling that of the officer who harassed him. However, the officer fled to avoid being identified, but William captured his license plate on camera. He identified the officer as Jose Rivera Jr. A year later, William received a complaint disposition form confirming that the complaint was sustained, though the officer's name still wasn't disclosed. Jose Rivera was eventually given a 5-day suspension.
As impressive as that was, just wait until this next auditor takes things to a whole new level and dismantles the officers.
Sean visited the probation department in Newcastle, Delaware to record in public areas, but that was very short-lived.
You can't record on DOC property, you have to step outside.
Excuse me, sir?
You cannot record on DOC property, you have to step outside.
Who are you, sir?
Officer Powell.
Officer Powell.
So I'm asking you to step outside.
And what law would that be?
DOC private property, you cannot record.
This is private property?
It's
Who
DOC
owns it?
property.
Who owns the property, sir?
Sir, you have to leave.
This isn't private property, sir.
Sir, you have to leave.
This is public property, sir.
Sir, you have to leave.
So this is public
You cannot
property.
record on state property, DOC property. That's
What
the
law
thing.
is that?
It's not a law, it's a policy. You cannot record.
It's a policy.
Yes, sir. You can step outside and record. You just cannot record inside the building.
Well, this is still a public building, public property. It's publicly accessible.
It's a correctional institution, which is a secure facility. Okay.
There's nothing secure about it. I just walked right in.
No.
There's secure areas in this building, of course, sure. And I don't plan on going into any of those secure areas,
You
sir.
cannot record in the building.
But that's not a law, sir. Respectfully, that's not a law. That's just a policy, sir. Oh, my name is Sean, sir.
Sean what?
Just Sean.
Just Sean?
Just Sean.
Fair enough, Sean.
My name's Supervisor McCarron.
And my name is Sean, sir. And your name, sir?
I'm Supervisor Dowling.
Supervisor Dowling. Nice to meet you guys.
And what's your business here today?
Oh, I'm just taking some pictures and video. I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story on the Department of Corrections here.
Gotcha. Do you have any kind of paperwork saying you can be on the property for doing that?
Do I have any paperwork?
Yeah.
Other than the United States Constitution,
Not just apply here for this. We have our policy here. So I would like you to...
the United States Constitution doesn't apply here?
No. What you're trying to do does not apply to this. You cannot record here. We have a policy that says you can't record in our building.
And that policy trumps the United States Constitution and freedom of press?
Anything. Our policy for this building, you're not allowed to be here in this building recording. We say you can't. So I'm going to ask you to remove yourself from the building, please.
Sir, I'm engaged in a constitutional protected activity. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not, you're talking about your policy. I'm not breaking any laws. If you'd like, you can call law enforcement.
It's our policy.
If you'd like, you can call law enforcement so they can explain to you the laws.
You can remove yourself.
But that's not against the law, sir.
You have to call
You're the
law
same guy
enforcement.
that was at the failed prison,
Where?
the women's prison?
Oh, no, I never went there before. No, never. This is the first time I've been to a Delaware correctional facility here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't there.
According to this officer, the Constitution does not apply to this correctional facility. So citizens can fund this place but have no access or rights to record and see it. But this officer was about to get in Sean's face.
You have no other business other than being in the building. So I decided to remove you from the building. Then what?
Well, if you physically put your hands on me and remove me from the building, that would be a crime.
Okay,
And,
fine. Show me what crime, please.
well, you cannot put your hands on people that
Show me
aren't.
what crime, please.
Yeah, that would be the crime of assault.
Assault?
And that would be
If we
assault.
remove you from the building?
That would be
Escorting
assault.
out from the building, we have a right to say you can leave our building.
No,
correct?
you cannot assault people that haven't
Do we
broken
have
a
a right
law.
to say you can move our building? Do we have a right to say you can leave our
No,
building?
because this is a public building. Is it closed to the public right
It's
now?
a state. I'm sorry. I like you. If you're taking...
Yeah, I'll take whatever. Sure. What do you got up there that says what? The Bridge Clinic?
Where's that, sorry?
It's posted inside the lobby.
Oh, you can go
Well,
ahead.
inside the lobby where I'm not?
No, it said no loitering.
Yeah, I'm not loitering. I have a loitering is when you don't have a purpose. Right, loitering is when you don't have a purpose. You're just standing around not doing anything. No. I'm told you, I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity of freedom of press. I'm a journalist working on a story.
Your credentials for the journalists.
Oh, I'm sure I could produce some
I'm
credentials
asking
for you.
Credentials right now, sir.
Yeah, no, I don't have to give them to you
So-
though.
No, you do.
I don't.
You asked me for credentials.
Can you just take a step
Well,
back,
no,
please?
I'm in my building. I'm asking you.
Well, you're in
for your
our building.
credentials. I'm asking you for your credentials.
I know. I'm
asking
gonna
for
take a
your
step
credentials.
back. I'm gonna
Okay, you can
de-escalate.
take a step back. I'm asking for your credentials.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Where's your credentials, sir?
So, can I see your credentials? Your credentials is what?
As an officer, this is my credentials.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
where's
you're an
your
officer with the Department of
Where's
Corrections.
your credentials,
Sir, I don't show credentials unless I'm forced
You said you were a
to.
publicist. You
I
said
am.
you were
No, I'm a journalist,
Well,
right.
journalist. Can I see your credentials as a journalist, please?
No, you can't.
I can't?
No, sir, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot see my journal. You cannot see my credentials. You cannot see. I don't need credentials, and you can't see my license. I'm not going to give you my ID. I haven't broken any laws.
It's okay. You want it.
I don't need to. I follow the law, sir.
And what is the law?
That is not the law.
That is our building that we're responsible for our building.
No, that's not the law, sir.
But it's our building.
You can make a sign that says no
But it's our
black
building.
people allowed in a building, no white
So you're
people
being
allowed.
racist now, is that what you're saying?
No, I said you
just
could.
said that. You said about being black people. You're being racist. That's
I'm
what
saying
you're
I said black and white
No,
people.
you didn't say white. You
I said black.
people.
If you let me
You're being
finish.
racist, but you're being
If you
racist,
let me.
sir. At
No,
this
I'm
point,
not.
You're being racist.
I am
so I
not.
would like you to leave the building.
I'm not being racist at all,
Yeah.
sir. I'm giving you an example that if you had a sign that
was a very
said,
poor example.
why? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Once again, you're applying things that you want to apply, but you don't know how
If you
to
had a
do it.
sign that said no yellow people, no white people, no black people, no whatever kind of people here.
You're now cleaning up your action.
No, I'm not.
I really do appreciate that.
No, I'm
Wait,
not.
words. You're really a good wordsmith. But see, I see
If,
how you're
if
doing
you
it.
interrupted me before
No,
I could
I didn't
finish,
interrupt you, sir.
you said you're being racist.
No, because you were.
You're playing a race card.
Sir,
I don't know
you are.
why.
Sir, but you are. So I have rights too. What you did
Of
was
course.
defended my rights. You stepped
I-
over my rights.
no,
You
I
did.
didn't.
Yes, you did, sir.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Not at all.
Yes, you
You're
did.
being very disingenuous.
Sir, you are.
No.
Because we're trying to tell you to remove.
I'm trying to give you an example of why
That was
policies.
a very poor example.
No, it's not. It's a
Sir,
perfectly
so-
aligned example.
So what I would like you to do at this point, we're going back to the words, and we do not feel comfortable with you in our building. We're asking you to leave the building.
Right, and I have business to conduct here. I told you
What
that.
business do you have to conduct?
An open records request for the Department of Corrections is
And
part of
how
my
do you go
story.
about doing that, sir?
This officer tried to play the race card on Sean when he was just giving an example. He didn't have any excuse to kick him out. Now he was creating drama to make a reason. Wait till you see what this other cop accuses him of.
Excuse me? Sir, there's nothing in my pocket. It's just- okay, there's no weapons in my pocket. You just saw. I just showed you. Sir, you're being a tyrant.
No, I am not being tyrant.
You are being a tyrant. You have no right to. You have
In
no.
this building, we're subject to
So this
search.
way he can't do his narrative.
It's subject to search over there. We're subject to search.
Well, in this building, you are in this building, we're subject to search.
Where does it say
I'm
that?
only asking you to take your hand out of your pocket.
Sir, I just showed you. There's nothing in my pocket other than a cell phone.
Says that for anybody
It's a cell phone. You're not. You shouldn't be scared. You guys are armed. Why are you scared for it? You are scared. You tell. I can't put my hand in my pocket because you're scared.
I'm showing you what the sign says.
Right.
You asked that.
Okay.
So we showed you what the sign says.
Right. I'm not in a restricted area. This is a publicly accessible area.
It says restricted.
I know that.
It says any person or vehicle on the property is subject to search.
This. Okay. So violate my rights and search me then. If you think that sign makes you have the authority to violate my rights, my Fourth Amendment right of unreasonable searches and seizures, search me. It is unreasonable because there's nothing you can see. There's nothing on me.
Provide any ID.
I don't. What about my ID would make you feel safe? You're scared, obviously. So what about my ID or credentials would make you feel safe? I mean, you're acting scared by saying get your hands out of your pocket. That's acting scared,
That's
sir.
actually being.
I'm not scared. You guys have weapons. I'm not scared. What would I be scared for? You guys have weapons. I don't. All I have is a camera. That's all I
The
have.
great thing about this whole thing is you create a narrative, which I like. You're creating a narrative to fit your. We can step away from their window because that's something totally different. So we step away from their conducting business in their window.
I mean, if somebody comes up, I'll move out of the
Once
way.
again, I asked you something polite.
Did I not just move out of the way?
What you're going to do if somebody comes
Because
up to you, what?
I will move out of their way.
I'm asking you now out of their way.
No, but they're not. I'm not in anybody's way. Again, you're just trying to feed me directives because that's what you're used to doing. You're used to people following your directives without question. Why do law enforcement officers get so scared when people have their hands in their pockets? Like, do you think everybody's out to hurt you? Is that what it is? Because you're the one that. Do you think everybody's trying to hurt you, officer?
You don't have to comment that. You left the conversation.
I mean, he said, take your hands out of your pockets. Why? A lot of officers I see say that. Why? Why can't a free man or woman have their hands in their pockets?
So keep speaking, ladies.
I mean, you've been talking more than me.
He just accused him of having a knife in his pocket. Meanwhile, he himself has a gun on him. If police officers are so scared of a man with hands in his pockets, they should not be police officers. The officer then continues to be as petty as possible.
Excuse me, sir.
No, I'm okay. You're okay.
Check your receptions.
You're just
I'm asking.
you're just walking in
I know,
front of me.
but you're not going to go any further than my officer. So I'm making sure you stay pretty far away from my officer.
I know. Just it could be considered a
It could be. I'm actually stay close.
Disorderly
far from
conduct,
You don't
like
need
walking
these
in front of
conversations,
people.
sir. It's okay.
little close.
I understand, sir. It's okay.
I'm gonna try walking away from you.
I understand, but you're not able to go into the lobby. But you're okay.
It's a secure lobby. Why would I go in?
No, doesn't matter, sir. Just make sure everything's okay.
Everything's fine.
I understand, but you're not going to be in this conversation. There's no need for you to be there. It's something that has nothing to do with you.
I think he's getting educated. I think
Maybe
that's
he
what's
is,
going on.
but right now you don't need to be close to him. That's all.
But you could be close to me.
Because you're getting close to my officer, you made a move to my officer.
This is public area. Being a correctional facility
it's
doesn't.
a common area. It's not
Right.
a public area. Up front, this is state property. So unless you have official
State
business
property,
here-
public property, it's the same thing.
Unless you have official business, you do what you like here. You can submit whatever paperwork you like for your investigative, journalism. Cool, great. But speaking to the two gentlemen here, you haven't provided any sort of credentials or paperwork for you to obtain that information.
Right. I don't need to provide credentials to anybody. I don't need to provide my ID. This is the United States of America. We are free to enter into publicly accessible areas
But again,
and record law
right
enforcement.
now-
It's a First Amendment protected activity, sir.
So right now you're trespassing onto state government property.
I'm not.
They are here with us.
And they're currently closed.
And they're currently
Right.
closed. So
So-
therefore, we control the building.
Yeah, right.
So what you're
Well,
doing
you don't. You don't. But at the end of the day, and you'll see the federal laws. Okay, that's fine.
Until you show
I'll
me,
wait.
we're going back and forth.
All right, great.
There's people
All right,
here
thank you,
that
sir.
are
Thank you. I
victims.
appreciate that.
There
They're
are people-
victims? Okay.
there are
Like
people
you,
here
right?
victims.
Like you.
There are people here, victims, people here.
Like you, right?
In the end, the police officers let Sean be, even though the officers from the probation center were salty that he was allowed there. It takes a lot of guts to stand up when you're outnumbered.
Moving on, here's another classic audit by Sean, who is a master at holding cops accountable.
I saw you coming around this side.
Yeah, this is a sidewalk, right? That's where I was walking.
On August 18, 2024, Sean, the owner of the Long Island Audit YouTube channel, uploaded a video of him practicing his First Amendment rights at the Mercer County Correctional Facility. But his run-in with an obstinate lieutenant on the scene complicated everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look around the facility here. So this correctional officer here has been on the phone, just following me around, watching me. He could just come up to me and ask me what I'm doing, and I'll tell him I'm taking some pictures in public. Not a big deal, exercising my First Amendment right. But he wants to be all cloak and dagger about it. So we have another friendly reminder that the government's always watching us.
The cop could get a better view up close, but he just wanted to be unnoticed, which he failed at.
Hey, how are ya? Who are you, sir? I know where I am. Lieutenant?
Yep.
Lieutenant what?
Lieutenant Hood.
Lieutenant Hood. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Sean.
Why are you walking around the building here?
I'm just taking some pictures.
Like you can't go around outside of the jail.
Oh, I'm not going into any restricted areas or anything, Lieutenant. I'm just taking a look around the publicly accessible areas.
Yeah, I saw you coming around this side.
Yeah. There's a sidewalk, right? That's where I was walking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That lieutenant had no good argument. All Sean was doing was roaming around in the open.
All right, let's take a look around the other side. Continue to walk on the sidewalk. We have the lieutenant and another correctional officer here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it looks like law enforcement has arrived. I'm not exactly sure if they're here for us. Actually, now I'm pretty sure that they are here to speak with us.
Hey, partner.
Hey, how are you, sir?
What's going on? Are you here for some reason? Because the jail's concerned.
Oh, I spoke to the lieutenant.
Oh, okay.
Sean, throughout this entire video, will be owning the law enforcement officers, so stay tuned because you do not want to miss this.
Yeah, I see. He came out and I spoke to the lieutenant.
What'd he say?
He said if I was gonna go, I couldn't go around the facility here, and I told him I didn't. I was just walking in the publicly accessible areas. You mind if I get your name and badge number, sir?
12086. My name's right there.
Right there.
If you can get it on your camera.
Okay, great.
You're being filmed visually and audibly as well.
Okay.
Just letting you know. I have to let you know.
Okay.
So,
a lot of officers' name right there.
what's that?
A lot of officers' name right there.
A lot of officers' name right here.
Right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we put ours here.
Okay.
Others,
Great.
I don't know
Yeah.
where they put theirs, but so you talked to the lieutenant. He
Yeah.
said-
Sean wasn't doing anything wrong, but these cops, like many other cops, want to create a scene out of nothing.
My name's Sean. I'm working on a story for this correctional facility, and I'm just taking pictures of the grounds, getting some B-roll footage
Okay.
of
Did
the
he
publicly
say it
accessible
was
areas.
okay?
He didn't. He said I couldn't go around
So
the correctional
here's
facility.
the deal. I'm just being straightforward.
Yeah, sure,
So
sure.
obviously, I'm here for a reason. I didn't just show up
Right.
randomly and
Right,
make
right,
contact
right.
with you. And but the jail called. They said that you were walking around near the fences, and I can confirm that with the complaint in the jail, and then filming inside vehicles.
Right. So I was filming the correctional vehicles there.
Yeah.
The ones belonging to the state.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'm working on a story.
I got
So
you.
I was filming those vehicles. I wasn't filming any personal vehicles, but
Okay.
I mean, filming personal vehicles isn't
So
even
is
a
this for like
crime.
just like a? No, I never said it was. But
Right.
you know.
But I
this-
wasn't doing that, just so you know.
This is. Hey, I'll take your word for it. You have to understand this is a jail, and I'm not saying this is suspicious. Obviously, I'm talking with you and getting
Right.
an understanding and everything.
Right.
You're doing it for like a project.
Yeah. So I'm just working on a personal project of mine, and about the jail.
Yeah.
And I received some complaints about the jail.
The officer said it was a jail, like it made a difference. He was out on public property and there was nothing illegal about him filming.
Some information that I was just wanted to get some B-roll footage here. Take pictures in the publicly accessible areas.
Okay.
You know, like I said, the first person that came up to me and speak to me was the lieutenant. I was right around that corner of the.
About how long ago was it?
Probably about, I would say like 5-10 minutes ago.
right.
Between there.
And he said you're okay as long as.
So he didn't tell me. It was a very short conversation. He said you can't be walking around the jail.
Okay.
And
you weren't doing that, right?
No, and and I said I was walking on the sidewalk, so right here to where
Yeah.
there was a front door, and he was like, okay,
Yeah.
and then he kind of just walked away.
And
I guess that's when they called you just to have you handle it, because I don't know if they're not law enforcement.
The lieutenant outside the prison had a considerably different attitude than the state trooper, who had been quite understanding and tolerant of the man's circumstances.
So it looks like the trooper is on the phone. We'll wait for him to get off. Hopefully he does the right thing, honors his oath to the United States Constitution, and things don't get escalated. Let's see if we can get this officer's name and badge number. Hopefully his name's not right here too. I'm gonna keep getting confused.
All right, I'll talk to him. He's being cool. He's being fine. I don't suspect, he's just doing that. So I'll let him know.
Hey trooper, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Hey, good. Mind if I get your name and badge number?
Trooper Secondaire 12793.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
You good with that?
My name is Sean, by the way.
Hi, Sean.
Okay. I'll just let him know. All right. Thanks, LT. All right. Bye-bye. All right. The LT says he asked you to leave.
It's on
you
camera.
said he didn't. That's fine. I'm not. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Before we
I'm
jump
just
to conclusions.
No, One word, 2 words, on camera. That's it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. But he's fine with you being here. I talked to him about it. He's fine. He's just asked for one thing. He said just don't go out into that area or out on the grass.
Yeah, no restricted areas. Yeah, no restricted areas.
I said you're gonna no problems. I don't expect you to do anything bad. You're here for filming for.
As shown earlier in the video, the lieutenant chose to lie on camera rather than advise the man to leave, demonstrating how readily such police officers can get away with lying.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, so apparently the lieutenant, do you see why it's important to always record public servants, especially law enforcement and correctional officers? Because they will lie. He never once told me to leave the property.
The man once again shut down the lieutenant for his lies, emphasizing the importance of recording, as he would have no evidence in his favor if he had not.
Some officers' obsession with stopping people from filming is truly baffling. And in this case, they learned a lesson they won't soon forget.
That's not my problem.
I don't want to take you to jail, but also, I'm doing my job.
You clearly do.
An angry female cop approached an unidentified person who was just strolling about Jacksonville.
Is there a reason I'm doing a job? Yeah, to make money.
Okay, people have just been calling, just thinking it's kind of weird.
It's journalism. I'm sorry.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's protected under the First Amendment, so.
I'm not saying you're not.
Sorry about that.
All right, but hold on.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, right now.
For what? For which crime?
So I'm further investigating why you're walking around.
What crime? That's not a crime. Walking around isn't a crime. You have to articulate a crime before you can detain me. Supervisor. Yep. You can't detain just anyone. You have to articulate a crime. You're incorrect. Get your supervisor and let's find out.
He's probably the type to run from real challenges, opting instead to pick on innocent civilians over the most trivial matters.
So you are failure. You're not identifying yourself. You're refusing.
What crime have I committed?
So at the end of the day, if law
it's not the end. It's the beginning.
Listen to me for a sec. So if law enforcement requests your identification, right? Your name, your date of birth, your ID card, your driver's license number, you are obligated to give that to law enforcement.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Not unless you can articulate a crime.
So I can articulate that this
walking around is not suspicious. Isn't a crime.
Okay, but it is something we have to investigate.
It's not a crime, so I don't have to comply with anything. I don't have to help you in your investigation.
Okay. Well, I am asking you to identify yourself. You are refusing.
Haven't committed a crime.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter. No, I do not.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Name and badge number, please.
My name is Wrongful Team Bureau. My officer number is 674.
Thank you.
Jackson Police Department.
Thank you.
You live around here?
I'm not answering any questions.
Okay. Well, you have a nice day then, okay?
Thank you. Am I free to go?
Yeah, you've been free to go this whole time.
She told me I've been detained.
Oh, okay.
Twice now. So I'm detained?
Well, you want a supervisor?
Am I detained?
I'm trying to identify you.
That's not happening. Am I detained?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm trying to identify you.
That's not my problem. I don't have to further your investigation for you. That's your job.
Knowing fully well that she could not lawfully hold him, she attempted to sidestep the subject at hand. In the meantime, another officer, maybe sensing the absurdity of the situation, signaled to our buddy that he might go.
Apparently, you have no idea how it works. You can't walk up to a citizen not committing a crime and demand ID. That's not how this works.
Okay. So you know the law more than
I do, actually. It turns out that I do. You see, I'm a journalist.
Well, how is that obvious?
I'm gathering content for a story. Who else does that? Do mechanics do that? Excuse me?
I said everybody with a cell phone isn't a journalist.
If they choose to be, they are. It's in the Constitution.
Okay. Cell phones make you a journalist?
If that's what you choose to do, yeah.
Okay.
This arrogant cop thought he was being clever, but anybody may videotape on public land without facing legal repercussions because of the First Amendment. This friend of ours maintains his position and strikes their ego really hard. These police officers' ignorance of the rules they're tasked with enforcing is quite disgraceful.
We're not in court, sir.
We can be very easily.
I would like to avoid that.
I would rather not, because this is going to keep happening until you guys are taught a lesson.
What's that, sir?
That you can't bully people into giving ID when you don't suspect a crime.
Sir, nobody is trying to bully you into anything.
She just told me she could take me to jail if I don't give her my ID.
What she's trying to make sure you understand is when law enforcement are investigating something.
They can investigate whatever you want. You have to suspect me of a crime.
Is this where our taxes go these days? Truly despicable.
Right now you're detained.
Okay. For what crime do you suspect me of?
Because she's following up on investigation.
What crime do you suspect me of?
Suspicious activity.
It's not. So suspicion is a crime.
Are you going to give her your name and information?
No.
Okay. Turn off the change back.
Okay.
man here was wrongfully detained, arrested, and later charged with resisting a public safety officer and obstructing an investigation. And now an innocent guy who was simply out on a walk has to deal with a criminal record for the rest of his life. If you thought cops behave like the street, you'd be surprised to know that you'll find them at the police stations too.
Yeah, sir, I have paperwork to turn in. Don't walk away from me.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Sir, you're a public servant, I'm telling you.
This auditor filed a complaint about their heedless activities at the Maryland Capitol Police Headquarters in Annapolis. This is an authorized and legitimate activity. However, he is taken aback by what he discovers as soon as he enters the building.
Yep. So I was here a couple weeks ago, and I turned this in, and it wasn't,
Hold on. Let me get a police officer for you.
Okay.
Have a seat right there. What's your name?
I'd rather not give that.
The name is on your complaint, right?
No, it's not.
You'd rather not give your name for the officer to come out here and address you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I checked, so there's no sergeant around.
Okay. So what's that supposed to mean? I'm just not allowed to turn in my complaint now?
It's not that you're not allowed to turn in your complaint. There's no one to accept it from you.
Okay, well, we're during business hours on a Tuesday afternoon, ma'am.
Well, this is session. Maryland General Assembly is in session right now.
Right down the
And
street.
A lot of the officers are out on patrol.
Okay, well, we're
so-
gonna have to call one over here to do their job, ma'am.
Well,
You
you don't talk to me like that. I'm not a police officer.
Okay.
I'm trying to assist you.
I'm not talking to you like anything. I'm just saying you're gonna have to call a police officer down here. You can't deny me of public services,
I'm not
ma'am.
denying you anything.
Well, you're telling me there's no sergeant to come down here and do the job. I'll sit over here and ring the doorbell, man. How about that? So what you're saying is there is a sergeant here. Oh yeah. Let's explain a big lie before you come out here, because you just told me there's no sergeant here. So how are you speaking to a sergeant? How are you speaking to a sergeant then, ma'am? How are you speaking to a sergeant if there's not one here? You want to answer that question? How are you speaking to a sergeant if there's not a sergeant here?
Hi, sir.
Hi, who are you, ma'am?
I'm Sergeant Alexander.
Sergeant Alexander, can you tell me why this lady just lied to me and said there's no sergeant here in the building?
What is it that you need?
Can you tell me, the first thing I need is you to tell me why she just lied to me and told me there's no sergeant in the building.
Okay, well. I said that could handle your issue.
No, you said there's no sergeant here.
Well, I said that could handle
Ma'am, it's all on videotape. If you want to sit down and go over it, we can sit down and go over it and you can see where you're wrong.
The receptionist immediately puts up unwarranted opposition to the auditor. She doesn't even know who he is or what he wants, yet she still behaves so badly. It begs the question of how awful the rest of her squad is.
And regardless, it's during business hours on a business day. There has to be somebody to accept this. So then why did she say he wasn't here? Why did she say he wasn't here then? What is the issue? I'm trying to turn in paperwork. I don't know why the lady that came out there who was originally going to help me came out and said, oh, there's no sergeant here to help you, and just shook her, so. Okay. So what is that supposed to mean? Well, I'm just saying they're all on legislation, so.
We were.
Okay, so what is that? You got down here pretty quick, didn't you?
There's another door.
You got down here pretty quick for being in legislation, aren't you?
Do you have a problem?
You see how quick, I do have a problem. You see how quick you got down here when you thought that I was causing a disturbance or when someone cried to call you down here, but nobody could come down here to help me 2 seconds ago. Yeah, sir, I have paperwork to turn in. Don't walk away from me.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Sir, you're a public servant. I'm telling you.
No, you're not telling me.
I'm telling you.
You want to get arrested again?
Sir, I'm doing, sir, this is legal.
Give me the papers.
Yeah, it's going to be date, stamp, and a copy to return to me.
I have a date stamp.
Well, that's how it's done, sir. That's the official way it's done. You can't change protocol. You can't change protocol just because you don't want to deal with me, sir.
I do want to deal with you.
Okay, then please, I need these stamped, copied, and returned to me. I need a date stamp. You guys have that.
Where?
Back in the office, sir.
We're the only one.
Every police station has that.
Can I see what you're talking about?
No, you can get a date thing and you can come out here and then you can stamp my paperwork.
One of two ways. You either cooperate
Well,
with
no,
me.
sir, there's only one way this is handled.
You're either going to cooperate with me.
Sir, there's a
or you're gonna walk away.
Sir, there's a legal way of doing this. Okay, so then why is it that I'm asking them to simply stamp it, sir? I'm asking them to
Stamp it as received.
At last, an officer recognizes the existence of a received stamp. I'm not sure why, but this person is able to recognize it and take care of it for him.
Ma'am, I'm doing legal business.
Come with me.
I was told by the commissioner that I could do this. This is legal business. I have legal business. No, ma'am, this is legal business. I'm in a public lobby.
I'm going to be here and I'm going to help you.
Okay.
Outside because you're disturbing.
I'm not disturbing anything, ma'am.
You're disturbing.
No, I'm not, ma'am. I'm asking them to do their job. They're disturbing it by refusing me services, ma'am.
What do you need?
I need these stamped and returned to me.
Simply see how she is pushing the cops aside to make room for herself. She is obviously angry that she has to help this person and deal with him. She's totally engulfed in corruption.
I need these done properly. I'm not interfering with the flow of business. They're refusing to do it.
Hey, I want 2 sergeants here and a lieutenant. That's it. Everyone else can go.
What's up, Barnes? How you doing, buddy? Good, man. How you doing? Good. I'm hanging in there, buddy. I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to fill out complaints for what happened that day, but they're being ignorant about it. And so why is it they can't come down here pretty quick to try and help me? Because you came in here huffing and puffing, sir. You threatened 3 times. You threatened 3 times to arrest me. You said you can leave or you're going to be arrested. So that's how I thought you were going to arrest me, because you said it, sir. It came out of your mouth. That's why I thought that.
You might want to look at your camera.
I have it.
You might want to look at that.
You might want to look at it.
All right, that's enough.
Get him out of here.
Go on.
Get him out of here.
I'm waiting for my paperwork, sir.
Go outside with
No, sir. This is a public lobby.
Michael Wilson, the head of police, arrives on the scene. Watch how naive he is about the auditor while he conducts a legitimate audit. He just can't seem to get that it's permissible to file a complaint against a public official.
Business, sir.
You have been told 3 times not to
And
come.
I'm waiting
Listen,
for
look
the-
at me.
And I've been told by the commissioner that if I have legal business, I can come in this office, sir.
You have been told 3 times not to trespass
I'm not
into this
trespassing.
building
I'm doing
because
legal
you create
business.
a problem when
I'm
you're
doing
here.
legal business,
Now
sir.
I'm telling you to leave the building.
I'm doing legal business,
If you don't
sir.
leave the building, you're going to get arrested
I'm doing legal
and
business,
again,
sir.
and again.
I'm doing
you're
legal
not
business,
to come back
sir.
here.
I'm doing
It's
legal
not
business,
legal
sir.
business.
It is, sir.
Get out or get locked
I have
up.
a right.
Lock him up.
Sir, I have a right to file
You're under
grievances.
arrest for trespassing.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
Rebecca, can you just please give me my paperwork so I can leave?
It's too late for that.
Sir, Rebecca, what is going on out here?
You're under arrest for trespassing.
I'm not, sir. I'm doing legal business.
You've been told to
I'm waiting for my paperwork so I can leave. Ma'am, please, that's all I'm waiting for so I can leave. Sir, I'm going to come back here. I have a right to file these complaints, sir. Yeah, my cell phone. No. My keys, my cell phone, my wallet. I don't understand why I'm being arrested. I literally, okay. Sir, I was told that if I had legal business, sir, I have a legal right to be here if I'm filing a grievance, sir. I'm filing a grievance, sir. Sir, I'm filing a grievance. I'm allowed here. Sir, this is a violation of 18 Code US 242. It's a deprivation of public services. I have a right to file grievances with my government, sir. I was told by the commissioner when he arrested me unlawfully out here last time and lied upon me, and I was taking the commissioner. I asked them, well, how is it that I can come back here to do this because I need? And they said you are allowed back there if you have legal and lawful business. They told me that filing this complaint is legal and lawful business. So how is it that I'm being trespassed, or how is it I'm being arrested for trespassing if I have a complaint that I filled out and filed?
Your initial time that you came in, you were trying to get an investigation started.
I was trying to find out why my tags have been taken off my car.
I got you.
And that's when I was arrested down here.
Is this the second time you've filled out this paperwork? Who'd you fill it out on the first time?
You can see both of them right there. No, it's not the same thing. No, they're for different incidents, different days, different incidents.
I got you.
I filled out different incident forms for different days. I didn't want to put 5 incidents on one thing, you know what I mean? So that's why, yeah.
So the first one was for the tags and all.
Well, if you think these cops were dumb, watch how this next female cop took things up a notch.
July 3rd, 2024. A YouTuber named Twisted Luck Truth posted a video in which he confronted a sergeant from the Holly Hill Police Department. The YouTuber used to be a police officer and had worked with the sergeant in the past. During that time, the sergeant made an illegal arrest. When the YouTuber confronted her about it in the video, her reaction was shocking.
No loitering. I need see some IDs. Is this your people? We got some suspicious people loitering over here.
Hi, how are ya?
They're loitering.
I'll be around.
Let's go.
All right. What's
Do you
up,
remember?
man?
Was it this gas station?
Which one?
Do you remember? One of my longest memories. Remember, you did a traffic stop. There was a traffic stop you did one night, and a dude had an open container. Open container in the car, and you arrested the guy for it.
Can't remember, man.
You remember arresting the guy for it? And then I came up and I was like, oh shit. It was an open container.
I'm not quite. I don't remember.
You had the guy in the back of your car, and you were searching his car and calling for a tow truck. And I was like, that's not a criminal.
I don't remember that.
That's not a criminal statute.
Remember? We knew.
Well, it was like it was a traffic citation. It was just traffic.
I honestly don't remember unless I don't remember.
Because well, I remember, not for nothing, you got mad at me because I was like, oh, it's not criminal. But then I had to tell admin.
Yeah, I don't remember, Matt.
And
I'm sorry.
They cleaned it up. But then the next day, remember, you got mad at me because you were like, hey, next time you have a problem with me, you have to talk to me. And I was like, I did talk to you.
Not at all. I don't remember. I can't refresh. I don't remember.
But the open container.
Yeah.
It was open, but open container is not criminal.
No. I gotta go out to the pub, but thank you.
But you wouldn't arrest somebody for open container.
Matt, I don't remember what you're recalling.
Well,
Just look at how humiliated she felt. But instead of admitting her mistake, she did something really stupid.
Arrested somebody and searched his car and took him to jail for having an open container.
I
and I tried to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you. I want to make sure, because I was trying to tell you, hey, it's not criminal. It's not criminal. And you were getting pissed at me for saying it. And I was like, hey, I'll show you the statute.
If I don't remember, I can't recollect exactly what conversation we had. But thank you.
You have another call?
I appreciate it. All right, I gotta go.
Is there another
radio? Is there another call?
I think we are the call.
Is there another call? I didn't hear it on my radio.
No, we were just moving our vehicles.
Yeah. Oh, she said she had to go to another call. I was just telling him, she took off. She's mad at me because I brought up a situation. She pulled a guy over one night, had an open container in his car. I was there, so I know.
He will resonate because this is the very same thing that happens for a non-moving, non-crim site. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So the guy I heard that she did a traffic stop, right? And a few minutes later, I heard her say that she had arrested somebody, 1015 open container. I said, 1015 open container on a traffic stop? What happened? I'm thinking maybe a guy walked up drinking a beer or something, So I showed up. I said, hey, Marquez, who'd you arrest? She's like, the driver's in the back of her car, handcuffed, as she's searching the car. That's not criminal. It's a traffic citation. No, it's not. It's criminal. He's going to. I'm like, no, Marquez, I'm telling you, look, I'll show you the citation. I'll show you the statute. She was pissed at me. She didn't want to hear it. She got a wrecker coming to tow his car. I'm like, you're violating the hell out of this guy's rights. You can't do this. She was mad at me, yelling at me. I had to go. I left. I tried to do what I could do. I went to admin to tell them, hey, she made a mess, right? They had to clean it up. But then she got pissed at me because I went to admin. And she told me, essentially, if she screws something up, I'm not allowed to talk to admin. So watch out. I don't know if she ever said that to you guys. How about you? You're on her shift?
I'm the swing car. I'm the mid.
Oh, you're the swing. You're on her shift. Yeah. She's rough, man. She's always been rough.
We have to be professional. That always.
Oh, no.
The sergeant did not receive a call, which the officer later confirmed. She just went to the other side of the parking lot and sat there. What a coward.
Anyway, I was just letting you know that's why she went away mad. That's because I brought that up. That's something I brought up before, and she tried to tell me before, I can't talk about it. Well, I sure as hell can talk about it now. So,
you're a bully.
I'm in some cases I am a bully. Watch out though. That one, smile at your face, and when you're not looking, she throw daggers at you. Careful. In my opinion, in my experience.
You're just mad like me.
Yeah, you're right. We're both we're disgruntled.
I love you remember these questions? Is it quiet tonight? It's been quiet?
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hope you have a quiet night.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, we're gonna get going, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna get going too. Mosquitoes. Hey,
you guys are definitely free to go. I mean, it's aid for effort. Next time I'm bringing crayons and coloring books, and I'm gonna see if you guys can keep it within the line.
Sounds good.
Hey, let Marquez know. In all seriousness, let Marquez know. I'm sure she's gonna about me. I'm not angry. I wanted to bring that up to her a long time ago, but back in the day, she said I'm not allowed to talk about it, right? And she did some stupid shit, and I wasn't allowed to tell her when she did stupid shit. Now I can tell her that she did stupid shit. So I'm not angry. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to have that discussion for a while, but she doesn't. She remembers. She didn't want to talk about it.
Before you guys go, just.
Don't get too nervous. He'll probably give you a warning.
That's how it came. All right, I'm getting all your 10 body cameras in.
Listen, guys, have a good night. Good talking.
All right, man, take it.
Good night.
Hey, before you go, just one quick question. Nah, go for yourself.
Oh, shit! Shots fired.
Fireworks.
Come on, let's blow it out.
Fireworks.
Have you ever played law enforcement tag before? Never played law enforcement tag?
God.
Actually, yeah. Did you see this right here, though, before you go?
Oh, what is
this thing right here?
What is that? God damn.
2 for looking. Later. I was curious what you're talking about. Nothing. You're all good, man. See you, man.
It was sad to see how afraid the officers working under her were. It showed that she was thoroughly corrupted and had infected the whole department. If you thought the sergeant was corrupt, wait until you look at this next case, in which a captain was asked to correct his chief publicly.
Why are you taking pictures of our cars?
Because
you're on our property.
They're public. This is public property. These are public service vehicles.
On April 3rd, 2019, a YouTuber posted a video on his channel in which he confronted an ignorant captain after he was stopped by a lousy public servant for filming in public. What the captain said next will leave you stunned.
I'm Captain Groundstaff.
Nice to meet you, partner.
Good to meet you.
Like I just explained to her, I've done nothing wrong. I'm just out here taking pictures and I'll be on my way. She's asked me for my name. They've asked me for ID and I've done nothing wrong. Okay. And the first thing you asked me was for my ID and I've done nothing wrong.
Do you have warrants or anything?
Do you expect me having a warrant?
I don't know. I don't understand.
So who are all of you people here? Can I have name and badge numbers?
I'm Chief Deputy Nathan Mays.
Nathan Mays.
Go in here and sit down on top of me.
You're Andy. This is Jason. And who are you?
Smith.
Smith.
Yep.
Why
are you taking pictures of our cars?
Because
you're on our property.
They're public. This is public property. These are public service vehicles.
Why are you taking pictures of them?
Because
some of these are undercover cars.
But they're in
so
public
you know who
view.
comes to take pictures of undercover cars? Drug dealers.
Well, that's your perception.
Okay.
I can't judge you for your perception.
Well,
sir, this is public property, and if you ask me to leave public property, that is which is public. This is tax funded. This isn't paid for through some public. Some private organization.
ID on it?
I do not. And this isn't a stop and ID state. You have to be able to give me reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime, and you can't give me that. So I haven't committed a crime.
Okay, well, we have undercover cars.
You need to leave.
Don't need to be.
You're asked to leave this property now, so you need to leave.
Can I ask you what your job title is here?
I'm captain.
You're captain.
Yeah.
So as captain, you don't know that you can't tell me to leave from a public space.
I can tell you to leave.
But this is public, and I can tell you. But this is public property, sir.
Okay,
this
we
is
don't
public.
need our vehicles.
Well, this isn't about what you
Video
need.
or
This is about the
photograph,
Constitution telling me that I have the right to my First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth
Well,
Amendment.
if you're done taking video, then you can tell us why you're taking video.
I'm gonna
and
step
pictures.
this way because I don't like this officer behind me. I'm gonna step this way. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna stand this way so I can see him. That's all.
Well, I can see it.
But again,
you can tell us why you're videoing and
because the
photographing our
Constitution says I can. If you want to take that up, you go. Take that up with the full founding fathers of the country.
You can already tell that the auditor had hit a nerve by bringing up the Constitution and exposing the cops' blatant ignorance. And he didn't stop there.
And it's unconstitutional for you to allow him to tell me that I have to leave this public space when this is public property. That is unconstitutional, and that is against your oath. That is against your oath.
Here we go. We're asking you to leave.
All I want you to do is honor your oath, sir. I'm not giving you my name. Just honor your oath. Officer, listen to me, okay? There's a gap between Americans, but there's
you to stand here and photograph our cars.
Y'all drive your cars and people can see them in public. What's the difference? If my eyes can see them, so can my camera. What's the difference? Y'all don't drive these cars. Sir, I don't have to leave because I'm not telling you my name. Tell me the statute that says if you don't identify yourself to a police officer, you have to leave. But that's not a crime. That's not a felony nor misdemeanor. And you should know that. That's not a felony or misdemeanor.
Okay, do you have any weapons on you?
I don't.
Do you mind if I check you?
Pat me down, please, sir. He's going to pat me down. Go ahead. There's no weapons on me.
You're going to be on our property.
That's fine.
Okay. Don't want to give us your name. We feel fear for our safety, so we're going to make sure you don't have any weapons.
That's fine, sir.
There were approximately 10 armed men on the scene, yet they still felt the need to check the auditor for safety. This speaks volumes about these cops' courage.
Yeah. I'm literally just here to take pictures and videos, but I just don't think it's fair.
Are you done? You've been here for a few minutes. Are you done taking your pictures
I'm not.
and videos?
I would have been done if I didn't get interrupted, but what I don't agree to is that there's some few high-ranking officers here who I respect their work from you guys, but to allow him to go against his oath and tell me that I have to leave a public space, that's unconstitutional. And there's already a gap between Americans and LEOs because of this type of stuff. And for you to allow him to tell me that he can make me leave public property, that's unconstitutional. So can you please correct this officer?
Now you're talking to me.
Well, can you please correct this officer and ask him to honor his oath when dealing with law-abiding citizens? That's all I want you to do.
What he's doing, okay, we're trying to protect our officers.
But your job is to protect the public.
What you're doing with that camera, putting that stuff wherever it's going to end up, whether it be social media or whatever.
But you're a public servant. But you're a public servant. You don't put that badge on to come make sure he's safe every day.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. Please, who's the chief of police here? That'd be you. You're the chief of police. So as the chief of police,
You want to talk to the chief of police?
yes, I do. I do.
Okay,
And then I want the mayor, because for all of you to tell me that I have to leave this publicly owned building, If I had a business here, which I'm conducting business, I would park in this parking lot here, correct? And I am in this public area of a parking lot, and he's going to tell me that I can't be here.
What business are you conducting?
So now we're getting personal with it. You want to know what I'm doing? I told you, I'm taking pictures.
For what reason?
Because it's personal. I have a personal business that I run, and the First Amendment of the Constitution tells me I have the right to free press. Now, if you're going to wage war on my constitutional rights and tell me that I can't do it, please tell me that. If you're going to wage war on my constitutional rights and tell me that I can't film, I'm not starting anything. You started this by telling me that I'll be trespassed from a publicly owned area because I'm filming. Is it private? Is it private? That's all I want to know. Can anybody here tell me, is this private property?
It's owned by the county.
Who pays for the county? Taxpayers. How can you tell me I can't be here?
Credit to the auditor who single-handedly took on the whole department. They came in a pack to try and intimidate him, but he didn't budge one bit. It's crazy to think that the chief was the most ignorant and irrational one out of them. We really need a better screening process through which we give out these jobs, because if people like him get into positions like that, then there is no hope for this country.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am, I wouldn't because I
So go pay your taxes in South Carolina.
So now you're telling me that I can't be here. Ma'am, I'm talking to this young man here. Please don't act like that. Please don't act like that, please. Because y'all are telling me that this is county property. Taxpayers pay for this, which means that y'all have no authority to make law-abiding people leave here. You can't. But because I've been threatened with arrest and trespassing, I'm going to leave. Officer, I'm leaving. I don't want to answer any more questions. No, I'm leaving because this officer here is going to tell. Bro, listen, if you're scared for your job, get a different job, brother. If you're scared, if you're that big of a sissy, get a different job, brother. Get a different job.
Now you're making it personal.
No. He's made it personal. I'm done talking to you. I'm done talking to you, brother. I do it on my time. But thank you for making yourself like an idiot on the internet.
Now you're making it personal.
It's not personal.
Don't call my chief deputy an idiot.
You understand? No, I say he made himself look like one. I have the right to free speech. I have the right to free speech.
You ain't gonna come on this property and disrespect my law enforcement officer.
They can disrespect me though.
I never heard him disrespect you.
By telling me that I can't be here,
sir. Once again.
But I'm listening. And again, thank you for being professional because you're the only one that I can have a dialogue with, and I respect that. But what I don't respect is this officer here telling me and intimidating me, telling me that I can't be here just because I make them suspicious. That's not a felony or misdemeanor, officer.
Have you ever worked in law enforcement?
I have law enforcement attorneys all through my family.
Now let me talk just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Go ahead.
This is a law enforcement center. You understand that?
I do.
We have narcotics officers. We have detectives. We have vehicles here that don't need to be seen by ordinary public. You understand that?
So,
okay, that's a threat to their safety.
Now,
that's a threat to their safety.
I understand that.
The level of ignorance that this captain showed is alarming. It doesn't make any sense how a person as uneducated on the law as him could become a captain.
Do you agree with
Can I ask you a question?
Answer my question.
I do, but I don't. At the same time, because if it can be seen from public, I can film or photograph it per the Constitution. If it's in public view, I can be seen. They don't hide these parking lots and garages that I went into to film this. This is in plain view right here. I'm having a awesome dialogue. You stay right there, please. I'm talking to him. This is in public view. As me and you both can agree to that this is in public view. I didn't go behind this building here. I didn't go behind the fence. I didn't do any of that to see anything I saw. This is all in public. I can see this car here. And I can see that car there from the road.
Okay.
So
we're gone. Okay.
So
once again,
but do you get what I'm saying though?
You leave.
It can be seen from public view. I can see that car from the road there. Okay. So that's like telling people when you drive by here, please don't look at our parking lot. That's bogus.
We're asking you to leave.
What people have the rights to do. So this is what they do here. But I'm about to get out of here.
It's a real shame that these officers went back to their jobs, validating each other's feelings that they were correct and nothing changed. But at least the auditor was successful in capturing and exposing the outrageous ignorance of our law enforcement officers. And the rest is up to us.
Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we saw cases where brave auditors stood up to these disgraceful police officers, teaching them a lesson in law. Thanks for watching. Please support the channel by subscribing, leaving a like, and comment if you want more like this.
Actually, we can trespass you from here.
They can.
Yes, I can. Give it a try then. All right, let's be done on that.